Home alone, a little stone, thinking about the man I used to be. And the summer day you snuck your way up in my life, and you asked that man to leave. Well, I had the fire, and I had the jokes, I had the whiskey, I had the smokes. I brought the loving, I brought the fun, and you sucked the soul out of everyone. I think I'm better on my own. I walk taller when I'm alone. I'm just a little cooler when you're gone. And everybody knows, yeah, everybody knows. I said I'm better on my own. I walk taller when I'm alone. I'm just a little cooler when you're gone. And everybody knows, yeah, everybody knows. And the days I spent with you were days that I'll never get back. But shit, man, that's just life. I lost my head, lost my heart, lost my love, and I lost all my life. Cause I had the fire, and I had the jokes, I had the whiskey, I had the smokes. I brought the loving, I brought the fun, and you sucked the soul out of everyone. I think I'm better on my.
Alright guys, so welcome to Let's Talk Television, episode 8 of season 2 already. So today we're on a Monday evening for this episode of Let's Talk Television. So on this one, we're going to talk a little bit about the 100 and the amazing, in my opinion at least, season finale from this week. Talk about how the show has kind of set an example for other TV shows in the way they went about season 5 and how they did that. And then we'll talk a little bit about 13 Reasons Why season 3 and how the cast is asking for a huge raise for season 3. So there's some talks, starting about that. Then we'll talk a little bit about Hulu and how they're operating at a pretty big loss for 2018 and what that means going forward for Hulu as a streaming service. Then, of course, weekly notables. I talk about my notable episode, notable performance from this week in television, which, by the way, it was a jam-packed week of television I saw this week. So I actually have 2 notable episodes just because, I couldn't pick one. Anyways, I probably could have had 5 if I included all of them anyways. But then, of course, one with a Q&A segment at the end if you have any questions, comments, and continue the discussion. Alright, so welcome to the episode here. Everything is looking good with the audio and everything like that. And yeah, so I do want to just briefly talk about the segments stuff because I've been doing those for the last few episodes and they've been doing pretty well. I mean the support I've gotten on them, the likes and the views and the comments of some people checking them out. So I do want to keep continuing those. Again, I don't want the channel to become too much spam, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want, I'm not going to start making, 7 or 8 clips of the video and basically just re-uploading the whole video. That's not what it's all about, right? It's about just making a 3 to 4 minute little segment of the video for someone who maybe isn't interested in watching the whole 45 minutes, or in this case, maybe they don't watch the 100. They're not really interested in that, but 13 Reasons Why is a big point of interest for them, and they'd love to see this news. Well, then that gives them a chance to kind of, zone in on that and be able to watch that instead of, the whole entire show. And honestly, I've just been really receiving a lot of support for it, so I'm going to keep going with it. But again, I do want to stress I don't want it to become spam. And yeah, so I don't want to upload too many of the clips just because then it looks like, I'm uploading like 5 videos at a time for one Let's Talk Television episode, right? Now, I haven't done that yet. I'm just saying, like, if I, really started oversaturating it. So, anyway, so I hope you guys are liking those. Keep checking them out if you want to, and, if you're interested in that stuff. And I think that's also another opportunity to kind of, kind of like, reach out to more people as well. Of course, with these episodes, again, maybe someone's not, interested in the main topic here, which is, what the episode is mainly based around. But maybe they still want to check out the video, right, on the channel. So anyways, that's just all I wanted to say there. I'm going to keep going with those, and I hope you guys will keep tuning in to some of those as well. So, and I want to keep them under like 5 or 6 minutes too. I don't want them to be much longer than that. Just because then, you may as well just watch, the entire, not the entire episode, but like the entire segment, right, of the video. So anyways, guys, so we're here with episode 8. I do apologize that I did not, I'm doing this episode on Monday evening, and so I do apologize for that one. Typically I like to have these on Saturdays. I was actually on a really good streak that I did like 5 episodes in a row on Saturday, which was really great. It's just this weekend, really busy again, and then yesterday I was going to do it, and then my microphone, I don't know if you tuned in last week, but I talked about it in that video as well. My microphone has really been acting up and not been working lately, so hopefully I fixed it now. Hopefully, but yeah, so I tried it again yesterday, and it wasn't working again, which was really frustrating, and so hopefully I fixed it now, and it's looking good right now. Please let me know if you're tuned in, by the way, if anything happens with that, because I have been having some problems, but anyways, it looks pretty good now. I think I fixed it for good now, and it looks like we're all good. So anyways, I'd like to thank you for tuning in live. I do really appreciate it, for those of you who tune in live, and of course for those of you who are tuning in afterwards, I do really appreciate it. So really enjoying this series, guys. Of course, we have 4 episodes after this one left of season 2 of Let's Talk Television. Then we're going into the fall season with Let's Talk Television. So really liking the series, guys. Really love bringing you guys new episodes every single week, and yeah, so really like it. And so this week we're talking about the 100. I thought I kind of had to. I did a quick thoughts video of the finale. Now, I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe you guys can share your thoughts as well with this one, but I'm calling that I call it quick thoughts, right? Because I don't really want to call it a reaction, because I know, maybe that's sort of like the clickbait way to go, right? Because reactions do typically get, a lot of views and stuff like that on YouTube, and but it's not a reaction, right? I'm not actually like watching it and reacting to it live, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm just, sharing my really initial quick thoughts. I finish the episode, then a few minutes later I hop on and share my thoughts. That's kind of what it is. And so in that fact, it's not the same as a review, right? If you saw my Better Call Saul quick thoughts in the review, obviously it's a lot different, right? The review is 25 minutes, I believe, and then the quick thoughts is like 4, right? So I'm continuing the quick thoughts thing, but maybe if you guys, I don't know, maybe have a better idea for the name of it, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna keep doing those just for big episodes. So I did one for Better Call Saul premiere, one for the 100 finale, and yeah, I'm really thinking only like premieres and finales. Maybe a middle episode where something huge happens, like maybe in The Sinner. In season 1 you had a few episodes there where something big happened and it wasn't the finale, or the premiere. So I might do that. But anyways, so I made also a playlist on the channel, so you can check those ones out as well. I did one for The Terror also earlier this year, and that one did really well, so I figured I'd stick with it. So anyways, the whole point of that was I did make a quick thoughts video for the 100 season 5 finale, sharing my quick thoughts, and I don't know, I did want to make a review for it, but then I got really busy, and then I forgot about it, kind of, to be honest, and then I didn't end up making it, and I just figured it's too late now to make a review for the finale. I'm just going to forget too many things, right? And so anyway, so I didn't make a review for it, but again, I did make that quick thoughts if you're interested, and I think I did cover quite a lot of stuff in that quick thoughts video in like 5 minutes, though, and I did talk about how season 5 was maybe even the best season of the show, or at least up there, right? At least up there with season 1 and season 2, in my opinion. So anyway, so the statement here this week is how the 100 has set an example for all TV shows to follow. And so the end of season 4, right? And also that there will be spoilers of season 5, of course, in this. So if you haven't seen it, you know, I suggest. I mean, it's not gonna ruin anything for you. I'm kind of talking in general terms here. I'm not saying, you know, who dies and who lives or anything like that. But you know, it might come up in conversation or whatever. So just a warning there. But anyway, so the end of season 4, right? We leave on a 6-year time jump, and it kind of came out of nowhere, right? I'm watching the finale, and the whole ending of Prime Fire, right, is the kind of, you know, overarching storyline of season 4, and the ending, it's like, you know, and you were I think we were all wondering, it's like, well, how are they going to get out of this? Like, what is the only realistic option here? And so they kind of threw us a curveball completely, and actually left Clark on Earth while the rest of them went up in space, pretty much, right? You know, is what happens. And then, of course, some of them went into the bunker where you had, you know, Kane, Clark's mom, Octavia, you know, all those. And so you kind of had 3 different spots here, right? And so the way they finished it up, and then at the very end of the episode, it was like 6 years later. And, it, you know, like 10 seconds passed in the show, and all of a sudden it was 6 years, and now we get this ship coming down, this prisoner ship, to Earth. And Clark is there with a daughter. So, you know, it came out of nowhere, right? Came out of left field. It was a huge curveball that they threw us. And I was a little skeptical at the time. I'm like, 6-year time jump within a few seconds? I actually thought it was like a dream sequence at first, that Clark was just dreaming or something like that. I didn't think it was actually a real time jump at the time, but yeah, no, it was. It was a real time jump, and it just came out of nowhere, and I was really skeptical. I'm gonna be honest, like, I really thought, I'm like, oh, really? 6-year time jump? Like, that's a lot of time to go by here. Where is this story going to go from here? But I will say, after seeing the complete season 5, it turned out to be the best decision that this show could have ever made. In this situation, right? In this situation that they kind of, they wrote themselves into a corner, right? And so this is how they broke out of that corner. And I think it is probably the best decision that the show has ever made. Next to the decision and the writing that they did in season 5, near the end of the finale right? So yeah, I was skeptical at first. I'm like, 6-year time jump for season 4 after, you know, all this stuff happens. It just kind of came out of nowhere, like I said. And I was a little skeptical, but honestly, one of the best, one of the best decisions that I've seen a TV show make, right? And so we get that 6-year time jump, and I think it's like 3 minutes of footage, I guess, that we see, where it's after the 6 years, right? And so we don't see much, right? We literally see Clark and her daughter and that prisoner ship coming down. It's pretty much what we all see in that 3 minutes. You know, not much, right? And so we come into season 5, and I'm thinking, wow, like, so 6 years have passed, right? 6 years have passed, since Prime 5 ended, right? And all the 3 different kind of groups of people. Clark is in a group, of course, but, you know, Clark, and then you get the other 2 groups of people, Bellamy and, the 100 people, right? And then Kane, Clark's mom, Abby, and Octavia, and all them. And so we come back to season 5, and I did a review for the premiere of season 5 as well on the channel, so if you want to go check that out. And that's where I kind of share my thoughts too, and I said, you know, this is kind of a jump start of the show in a way, right? Because you get a 6-year time jump, right? And a lot of stuff happens within the 6 years. You know, like a huge part of the story, right, has just went down. And so I just really like the way that they were able to kind of, you know, reinvent themselves, kind of jumpstart the show here, and being able to take this time jump and now basically craft a whole new story for season 5. And honestly, I just felt like the whole season 5 just really got that impression. They reinvented themselves, but by still following the same principles and same storylines that this show has followed since its beginning. And that's something that not every show could talk about. I mean, some shows do a huge time skip and the whole show changes, right? You know, maybe you even have like main cast members leave or something like that. You do a huge time jump, and the show just never really feels the same after that. But this show, I mean, with season 5, the way that it went down, and the whole progression of the season since this 6-year time jump, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, they're really following the exact same principles of what they what they have in previous seasons, only 6 years later, and a whole new environment, a whole new location, right, in Earth. And it was just really good. It was really refreshing. And their ability to do that was really, really impressive. So, and just some of the stuff I'm talking about, right? They had that commander storyline again, right? They have Maddie becoming the commander, mirroring kind of Lexa's journey, right, in that commander. She even, hears about, basically, like, Lexa is talking to her when they put the chip in Maddie, right? And so you get that whole storyline. Then you get the whole storyline of two kind of groups or two kind of sides battling for a specific part of land, right? And that's exactly what they've had in previous seasons. That's kind of been the kind of main theme or the main basis for this show has been, always trying to fight for survival and fight for the land, right? And that's what they had with the Grounders, the Mountain Men, I mean, the City of Light, like everything like that has been, it's always been like that. And within this season, they were able to basically replicate that, only in a whole new environment and a whole new group of people, with the prisoners. So, sorry. So, a really, really great job with it being able to do that. I mean, you could really go on and on. I mean, you had the storyline with Octavia becoming bad, right? Becoming the Red Queen, right? Blood Reina and all that stuff. So, and that was, really mirroring kind of Clark's journey, right? In becoming, what did they call her? What did they call her? I'm trying to think of the name that they called Clark. Oh man, I'm blanking on this one, but anyways, the name that they call, was it Wanheda? I think was it Wanheda? I think so. But anyway, so of course, Clark kind of went on that journey too, and becoming kind of that evil leader, right after basically the Mountain Men in season 2. And so, and she became that Wanheda, or sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, but that's what I'm going to go with now, because that's what I remember. And she became that, and then Octavia kind of goes through that same journey this season. So just this whole season was kind of mirroring other themes in past seasons, but with a whole new environment and 6 years later, right? And so the ability to do that, to kind of repeat those same themes of the show, even with basically a whole new show, was really, really great, right? And so after the 4th season of the 100, the show seemed like it was getting a little redundant, at least to me. I mean, after the 4th season was probably my least favorite season of the show, by the way. And season 3. The City of Light storyline never really caught me. I mean, the Prime Fire thing, it was kind of smart, but again, it kind of played off of that City of Light storyline. And I just wasn't a huge fan of season 3. I mean, and then you also had, like, kind of crazy deaths, right, with Lincoln's death, and just kind of unnecessary things happened in season 3 that I felt, pretty much that changed the series for the worse, right? And so season 3 and season 4, I really like season 1 and season 2, don't get me wrong, but season 3 and season 4 were probably, like, the worst ones for me. Season 4 probably being the worst, and it just seemed like the show was getting a little redundant, right? It's like, okay, we're 4 seasons in. Maybe this show has shown me all it can, right? Maybe this is what the show is, and maybe it's reached its potential. Maybe this is it, right? Like maybe we've reached a point where, okay, it was a good show for a few seasons, and now it's pretty much done, right? And let me tell you, if you felt the same way as I did after season 4, you probably, have never been so wrong, right, about a TV show. I mean, they are just, they're just right back on track, right? Like, they are right back on track with this 5th season. And of course the finale, right, of season 5, that they're more than just back on track, right? But, just this 5th season was able to create something, I mean, for this show, and basically bring it back to life, at least in my opinion, that kind of revived the show, and, completely set up the show for years and years to come now, especially with that season 5 finale. And so, again, the ability to capture those old kind of themes again with a new season, right? But also like an interesting storyline too. It wasn't like Prime Fire where they were kind of battling the elements the entire season, right? More than other people. And I feel like that's where it got me a little disinterested. And now with this season, they bring it back to exactly kind of what the roots were of this show, and they were able to reinvent this show completely. I would say they're right back on track, right? And so next, the end of season 5, right? The finale, and you know, quickly, I'll just talk about the finale a little bit. So again, spoilers if you haven't seen the finale, but I really thought this finale episode was one of the best episodes of the 100 TV series. I mean, it was great. I mean, just the entire, like, kind of, well, I would split the episode pretty much into, like, you know, 3 parts, right? So the first part is basically the prisoners battle with the survivors, I guess you could say, or I guess that's kind of Walking Dead-esque there, calling them survivors. Anyways, I don't know what you want to call them, like the friendlies, I guess, or what, you know, whatever. Anyway, so, you know, we'll call them the survivors. Why not? So the survivors and the prisoners, right, are fighting this final battle, right? We get the conclusion of that battle going down. That's the first part, I would say. Second part is them noticing now that McCreary has now dropped Damocles, or this atomic bomb, pretty much, on Earth, and they have to get in the ship and into space before this atomic bomb hits Earth, right? And basically kills any chance of survival in this valley, right? Or at least for 5 years at the time. And so that's part 2, and then part 3 is then the ending, of course, with Monty and Harper and them going into cryo and waking up, right? Well, Bellamy and Clark wake up at the very end, right? And so the 3 parts of this finale, love the first part. The battle with the prisoners was really great, and the way it ended too with Maddie, she actually told them to kill them all at the very beginning there, and Bellamy is the one who convinces her not to, you know, and I think it's time for him, and he realizes too that it's time to right these mistakes that I made in the past, right? Him and Pike in season 3, of course, he obviously still regrets that now, and the way he kind of went about that, you know, and having no mercy, right, for the people who surrender. He's totally realized that is not the right way to handle things, and he's able to convince Maddie of this too. So the way that whole battle ended was really, really great, and the way that the survivors were able to kind of outsmart the prisoners kind of at their own game too, right? I mean, they were really smart about it. So that part was really good. Then the second part, I would say, was probably the weakest out of the 3. Just because of the huge plot twist. Mercury just suddenly drops this bomb on Earth, and now they got to get everyone on this ship, right, and into space. And so we had some really great dialogue, though, and Bellamy, you know, having to wait for John and, for Murphy, Monty, and Harper, right? He waited till the very, very end to save them, and again, just really great stuff from Bellamy there, recognizing that. And yeah, so then that part was okay, and then the last part, I mean, wow, I don't even know what to say about that one. I mean, it came out of left field again, a huge surprise, but an amazing surprise. So anyways, that finale was really a really great episode, and the ending was probably the best part of it, right? So the end of season 5 brought once again a whole new reinvention of the show, and I mean reinvention of the show, and now sets up the series for greatness going forward. And the best part is, we're 5 seasons into the show, and they're just getting started. They're just getting started. And I honestly do believe that. Honestly, after seeing that finale. Because not just the little text that comes up at the end of the finale that says end of book 1, which means chapter. A lot of people got confused with the book and whatever. And I read this interview with the creator, Jason Rothenberg, and he said, yeah, we probably shouldn't use book. It confused a lot of people. And I'm like, you just thought about that now after the show already came out, but whatever. So anyways, so not just because of that text come up and say end of book 1 or end of chapter 1, but just the whole way that this story has now been crafted. You have almost all the same characters except for Harper and Monty, of course, but I do feel like they're going to appear as flashbacks and stuff like that in this next season. So basically, they have all these same characters and new characters, right? A couple of the prisoner characters will probably play a part. And now you're going to a whole new planet in season 6 and moving forward. Like, it is just insane, the way that they've crafted this storyline. And honestly, I do feel like they are just getting started. They just spent 5 years on Earth. Who says they can't spend another 5 years on a different planet? Right? Who says? So this series, and I really think CW is confident in this series. I don't think they're going to be canceling it anytime soon. And so I don't see that being a problem either. I really do think that they could go on for 5 more seasons with the 100. Now, again, would it get redundant by then? Would they have to reinvent themselves maybe in season 7 again? Maybe, right? It just depends how the writing goes, though. So, and again, they've shown that ability that they're able to do that. So there shouldn't be any problems, right? If they're able to do this again, the same way that they did with season 5, who says that they can't do 10 seasons, right? So really, really, really great stuff. And that finale, I mean, moving to a new planet now 100 years later, or over 100 years later, just really crazy. And then, of course, we get that new character, Monty's son. So he's going to play a big part. So just a really, really great ending to that finale. And honestly, the 100 has set an example because of their ability to reinvent themselves and venture off from the original story, but still make it kind of relevant to that story and entertaining, of course, right? And so, again, that ability to kind of reinvent themselves, it's kind of like a whole new show now going to this new planet. But you still got almost all the same characters. You still got almost all the same themes. And everything's going on. So, really, really great stuff here from the 100 and Season 5, right? And so, a lot of other TV shows could really follow this example set by the 100. And that's kind of my main point here, is how they have set an example for all these other TV shows to follow. So, my biggest example is just, kind of biased because I'm, a big fan of Walking Dead. Walking Dead Season 9. This is a huge, huge example of a TV show that should follow the 100's example that they've now set with Season 5. The Walking Dead Season 9, we know it's a time jump, right, between the Season 8 finale and Season 9. And so, kind of similar to the 100, right? We had a big time jump in between Season 4 and Season 5. So it just really depends on if Walking Dead Season 9 is able to capture those same themes that have been going on throughout the show in the last 8 years and reinvent themselves in this Season 9. Of course, the ratings and everything, the show is kind of declining the last couple seasons. It's true. And so will this Season 9 be able to kind of reinvent themselves and line them up for even more seasons to come? I mean, some people are not even confident on Season 10 right now, the way things are looking, right? And so, of course, but they have Andrew Lincoln leaving, right? So, again, the comparison with Walking Dead Season 9 and the 100 Season 5 is a little bit different, right? That'd be like the 100 Season 5, Eliza Taylor telling them after the Season 4 finale, sorry, I'm not going to come back, or sorry, I'll be in a few episodes, maybe 3 or 4, or maybe 6, total, but that's it, and then I'm done with the show. And that's basically what Andrew Lincoln has done with Walking Dead. And so, huge, huge difference there, of course, but still, that even puts more onus on the Walking Dead to kind of reinvent themselves without Rick, right? And so, will they be able to do this is a big question. And I don't want to, this video isn't about Walking Dead, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but that is a really great example of who could follow this. And also, I would throw in Suits as well. I'm a big fan of Suits, so again, a little bit more biased, but Suits is a great example of this. I mean, they're in Season 8 now, they've been running for 7 years, and Season 8 has been a big season that they've kind of reinvented themselves. But I feel like ultimately they've kind of failed at this format that the 100 has set, because they did reinvent themselves. They have, basically kind of a new cast. I mean, of course the 3 regulars are still there, minus Patrick Adams and Meghan Markle, but they've added some new ones, right? And they've kind of switched up the storylines here. But they still are kind of sticking with those old storylines, and they've kind of like halfway reinvented themselves, right? New characters, new look to a lot of things, right? But they're still going on the same things from the last 7 years, and just not the same way that the 100 did. I mean, the 100 did it with totally different characters, right? Totally different new storylines, but still following the same themes. And Suits just, I just feel like it hasn't been able to do that, and Season 8 is not looking as promising as I thought it would. That premiere for Season 8 was pretty good. I mean, it kind of gave me some more excitement for this season, but the last few episodes have been kind of dull again, because they've tried to reinvent themselves, but they haven't gone all the way, right? They brought Robert over to the firm. Now the firm looks a little bit different, but it's still the same firm, and they're still having the exact same problems, within the firm and the characters. So, and that's another thing too. The 100 each season, I mean, these characters go through a whole lot each season, especially Octavia this season. She probably went through the biggest progression, and they do a really great job with that. Whereas Suits, I mean, again, it's hard to compare Suits to the 100. Like, let's be honest, right? Or even The Walking Dead to the 100. The Walking Dead does that, with some of the characters, but not all of them. Not like the 100 does. So, anyways, within reason, of course, it's important to state, because not every TV show can do this. I mean, after one season of a show, they're not going to totally reinvent themselves in the second season, of course. But anyways, let's just wrap things up here with, I believe that all fans would feel refreshed, but also still captivated by the story if other shows followed in the 100's footsteps, right? So long-term shows that have been on for 3 or 4 years, I would say, and it's kind of getting a little bit redundant. The story's getting a little bit repetitive, a little bit kind of boring even, right? I think any fan would be completely refreshed by, following in the 100's footsteps, right? Not even necessarily a time jump, just kind of reinventing themselves, putting all these characters and these same themes in a new environment with totally new storylines, for a lot of the characters and just for, the battles and everything that's going on, and just kind of in reinventing themselves and, for some more fresher kind of content. So, anyways, guys, I'll just about wrap it up for the 100 here as I was talking about that. So, anyways, guys, thanks for sticking with me for this episode, and I appreciate those of you who are tuning in live, right now. So, anyways, but yeah. So the 100 Season 5, really impressed with it. I'm not sure if I'm ready to crown it as the best season of the show, just because I thought Season 1 and Season 2 were amazing. I mean, just thinking back, to Season 1, when they got off that ship in that very first scene, that's just, just a really nostalgic feeling, watching that happen. And just where the show has come, I'm not sure if I can quite crown it that yet, but Season 5 has been one of the best seasons of the show for sure, and the way that they've set this example has been really crazy, and I really enjoyed watching the finale this week, and also the rest of Season 5 throughout the season. So if you haven't caught up with the 100 Season 5, really urge you to get caught up. Or if you're on past seasons or something like that, catch up. I really do urge you to do that. It is I would say it's the best show on the CW. Personally, I know some other people might not agree with that. Riverdale fans or whatever like that, but I do think it's the best show on the CW. The best show that they've put out. Yeah, that's where I stand. So, anyways, guys, enough talk about the 100. Now let's get to something I like and something I don't like from this week in television. So this is a segment that I do every single week where I talk basically two kind of news pieces or 2 articles, and I talk about them and basically share what my thoughts are of these stories. So anyways, guys, the first one is something I don't like. I actually have 2 don't likes this week. Kind of interesting because I've had a lot of likes lately, but anyways, so something I don't like from this week in television. 13 Reasons Why cast of hit Netflix series closes in on major raises as Season 3 production start looms. So this one's from Deadline Hollywood. Of course, I will have this in the description after the video is published and public. The article will be in the description, so if you want to read along with me, there's a lot of stuff that I don't cover. Of course, I'm not going to read the article word for word here. So if you want to go on and read the rest of it, or just read, with me, whichever you like, it will be in the description after the video is published. So, anyways, here it is. So it comes down to the wire for Netflix's hugely popular drama series, 13 Reasons Why, which is scheduled to do the first table read for the upcoming 3rd season tomorrow. And so this was Thursday. Of course, this news is from last week. And so this is from Thursday last week, So the table read happened Thursday, but this article was published Wednesday. So there you go. So anyways, but its 8 core cast members are still negotiating their contracts, which is pretty crazy, right? they're starting a table read for season 3, and the cast still is negotiating their new contracts. Like, it's pretty crazy to actually think about what's going on here. But anyways, so we hear Dylan Minnette, who has emerged as the sole lead following the departure of original star Catherine Langford, is seeking a season 3 salary in the $200,000 per episode range, while Brandon Flynn, Alicia Bowe, Justin Prentice, Christian Navarro, Miles Heiser, Devin Druitt, and Ross Butler are looking for about $150,000 an episode. That is way above the group's start salary, said to be in the $20,000 to $60,000 an episode range, with Dylan Minnette believed to have started higher, around or north of $80,000. The impetus for the salary demands by 13 Reasons Why actors likely were the huge raises that the cast of another hit Netflix series, Stranger Things, recently got heading into season 3. So the first thing I just want to mention is, how can you compare 13 Reasons Why with Stranger Things? I don't know. I just don't really, like, no, I'm not saying that, like, the article or the author of this article is making a bad comparison here. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, the cast of 13 Reasons Why, comparing themselves with the cast of Stranger Things, that's where the first problem lies for me with this news. No. I'm not saying the author of the article is dumb to compare. I'm saying, sorry, that the cast of 13 Reasons Why, I don't understand how you can compare yourself to the cast of Stranger Things. Now, they are older, though, and they have more experience acting, so, I mean, maybe that's something, to throw in there. But, I don't know. Again, I've kind of stated my opinion on 13 Reasons Why. Did an episode of Let's Talk Television Season 1, talking about why Season 2 was a mistake, that it never should have been made. For 13 Reasons Why, I like Season 1. I liked it as a standalone season. I really don't think they should have continued this series, and I think one of the only reasons they did continue the series was because of the popularity and money that they got from Season 1. So, I'm not a big fan of Season 3. I know that's obviously been renewed. I mean, it was news, a while ago. And I'm not a big fan of that decision, but one thing I will say, though, is, there has been some stuff about this cast, right, at 13 Reasons Why, how they haven't always been the best. And in Season 2, I felt like some of the acting just felt really contrived in the season, but I also blame the writing for that. I wouldn't blame the actors and the actresses all for that, just because that was kind of like the whole way that the season went, right? It just felt really forced and contrived to me the whole time. And so I wouldn't really blame the actors for that one, but some of the acting did seem a little forced in Season 2. And so anyways, so, I don't know. I mean, good for them for getting more money, I guess, but I think it's kind of ridiculous that they would ask so, like, Dylan Minnette, if he was getting $80,000 around there for Season 1 and Season 2, he's asking for $200,000 for Season 3? I mean, and again, I mean, like, it's a lot of money either way. I mean, if you really look at it, from someone who's not an actor, you're saying, well, I'd be happy with $80,000, right? Of course, right? But we're in the world of acting, world of Hollywood, where $200,000 probably isn't even a lot for Hollywood, right? An episode. So, anyways, I mean, do they deserve a raise with the popularity of the show? I guess, right? I just think it's kind of ridiculous that they're asking for this much of a raise, the way that the show has kind of been trending. So, anyways, kind of mixed feelings on this one, to be honest. I mean, it could be something I don't like and something I like. I mean, again, I'm happy for the actors that are getting more money here, but I'm not sure if they really deserve it. And I'm just really not onto the idea of a Season 3 anyways. So that could also be it too. But anyways, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm probably going to tune into Season 3 anyways, just to kind of tune in on the hype and everything like that. I watched Season 2 entirely as well. So, I don't know. I feel like maybe some people might view that as hypocritical, that I'm saying why Season 2 shouldn't have been made. It was a mistake, yet I'm still watching the season. I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of agree, but I would also say, just to kind of dispute that, is, I kind of had to watch the season to see how it would be, right? Like, I was still giving it a chance up until when I saw it, right? And with Season 1, I will say, I mean, I did like Season 1 as a standalone, though, not, as a progressive season. you know, in knowing that there'd be more seasons, right? And so I really wanted it to tune into season 2 just to see what they were doing with it. But now, I don't know. So I'm about 50-50 that I'll probably tune into season 3, but we'll have to see. So anyways, guys, some big news there, and we still don't have an update. I did check on Deadline Hollywood. There is no update about this, so I'm assuming that they've already let this table read and they still don't have their contracts that they want. So we'll have to see where this goes. Maybe Netflix isn't even willing to give them this much money. I don't know. I mean, that could be possible. Maybe they won't even get this much money. You know, like, what would happen? I don't know. But anyways, I'm sure they'll get close to it, right? With the show's popularity and the money they made from it, I have no doubt that they'll probably get what they want. But anyways, guys, that will just about do it for that one. Alright, so, something I don't like, again, Hulu is on track to lose $1.5 billion in 2018. Isn't that an attention-grabbing headline? That is pretty crazy, and when I saw that, I was like, what? You know, am I reading that correctly? So, anyways, this one is from The Wrap. Again, this one will be posted in the description once the video is published and public. So, anyways, yeah, this one grabbed me by surprise. Hulu is on track to lose $1.5 billion in 2018. Crazy, right? I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, if you're not totally aware of the other streaming services and what's going on with them, this would seem, you know, catastrophic, you know, to you. But, you know, I'll read through this a little bit, and of course there's a lot more on the article to read too, so if you're interested in that, go right ahead. And so when I start reading here, you'll kind of understand it a little bit. It's not as bad as we think, right? So Hulu is on pace to lose more than $1.5 billion in 2018 as it continues to plow money into adding content and grabbing new subscribers. The company is set to see its yearly loss increase 71% from the $920 million it lost in 2017. Falling in the red isn't completely in vain, however, as Hulu has seen progress on several fronts. The service's trademark show, The Handmaid's Tale, recently scored 20 of Hulu's 27 total Emmy nominations, and its subscriber base is growing, with 20 million customers in the US paying at least $7.99 a month, right? So, and I think Netflix is now, isn't it $8.99 a month? Or is it $9.99 a month? So I still think Hulu's cheaper than Netflix actually right now. But the mounting losses only serve as a reminder of how expensive it is to come in third place behind its rivals Netflix and Amazon. I really like that. Hulu spent $2.5 billion on content in 2017 and is on pace to top that this year. Or sorry, to lap that this year. Netflix, meanwhile, is projected to spend up to $13 billion in 2018 on programming, and Amazon will spend $5 billion this year. And while Netflix operates at a loss too, that's very interesting. It's grabbing more viewers with nearly 3 times as many subscribers in the US as Hulu. Losing money is more palatable to investors when you're racking up new customers. So, anyways, they talk a little bit more about stuff in that article. Check it out if you want, but I was kind of blown away by this because I knew that Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and these streaming services, I knew that they didn't make, like, I didn't know that they operated at a loss quite like this, but I knew it wasn't, like, super profitable, right? Because if you really think about it, I mean, just all the movies that come on Netflix alone, just the amount of money that they spend on the rights for those, if you just really think about it for a few minutes, there's no way that they could be making a profit, even with how many people are subscribed to Netflix and pay monthly, you know, payments, right? And so I didn't know it was quite this far though. And I just don't like this news because I think Hulu is doing a really great job right now. Castle Rock that I've been watching currently, really great job with that, and that really showed me that Hulu has some real potential and could even pass Netflix. I mean, it could be possible, right? And so to hear that they're losing $1.5 billion in 2018, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of bad news for me, you know, as a fan of Hulu. So I haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale. And so maybe I'd be even more impressed with Hulu if I've seen that one. But Castle Rock is pretty much enough for me to say that I really am looking forward to see what Hulu can do in the future. And and they say, it says, it says, falling in the red isn't completely in vain, right? And it says Hulu has seen progress on several fronts. So maybe this is just kind of the startup of Hulu. Maybe they have, way more to go before they can maybe start making more money, or even Netflix, like they're still operating at a loss, it says on here, which is crazy, right? Like, I don't know. So, and they're spending $13 billion on programming. Wow. That is insane. So, I can't even imagine that much money, right? I'm sure the majority of Americans cannot. So, anyways, pretty much all Americans. But anyways, so just some really interesting news, if nothing else, here with Hulu. And, does this mean that next year is going to be a little bit better? Although, I don't know, because it, 71% increase in losses from last year for Hulu. And so maybe that's just translates to them getting better, right? Maybe they're just trying to get better as a streaming service for their fans, or is it something to worry about? I don't know, right? I mean, this is just really kind of interesting news, to say the least. And so it says about 20 million customers in the U.S., and Netflix, it says, has how much do they have? It says nearly 3 times. So they have about 60 million in the U.S., and Hulu has 20 million. And so that's interesting, too, to hear that kind of numbers as well. So, anyways, guys, share your thoughts on what you think that means for Hulu. You think that means, okay, they're spending more on content, they'll get more subscribers in a couple years, they will be doing just fine? Or do you think it's kind of worrisome, and maybe we're not sure if Hulu is going to be, a thing, or at least as powerful in a couple years? Maybe they're going to be in too much debt, right? So please share your thoughts on that one. That is really interesting news here from The Wrap. So anyways, there you go. So anyways, now I'll get to my weekly notables from this week in television here. And then, of course, we'll end it off. So if you have any comments or questions, anyone who's tuning in, put them in the live chat now, and we can discuss them. So that's right after this segment. So weekly notables for this week. And like I said at the very beginning, at the top of the episode this week, I don't know. I mean, I watched a lot of television this week. I think it was 8 episodes I watched this week. 7 episodes. And almost all of them were really great. I mean, it was crazy. So, anyways, my notable episode nod, I'm giving it to 2 episodes this week. I just could not pick one. It was just so hard. So I picked 2. So the first one, Succession, Season 1, Episode 10, the finale, Nobody is Ever Missing. I don't want to spoil too much about this episode, but it was phenomenal. And the twist they threw at us at the end of it, really, really crazy, but really impressive, the way that they're able to go that far, right? And you weren't sure if they were going to, right? And in that scene, it's like, what? What am I watching? Are they seriously going to do that? And they did. So it was just a really crazy episode. Really great acting, I thought, from the whole cast in that episode. In the finale, man. Really great one. I don't know if it's the best episode. I still think episode 6 is the best of the season there, but I would put this finale second in line. It was really great. So anyways, that is the first one. The second one, you probably already guessed it. It's the 100, season 5, episode 13, the finale. I'm not sure how to pronounce this either. Damocles part 2, I guess. And so the 100, they always do for their finales, part 1 and part 2. But anyways, so really, really great finale there. Again, I've talked about it lots already in the episode. So there you go. There you have it. Those are my 2 notable episodes from this week in television. Again, I usually only pick one, but this week I had to go with both. I really did. All right. So then, my notable performance comes from one of those episodes. I'm going to give it to Jeremy Strong from Succession, Season 1, Episode 10. Nobody is Ever Missing, the finale. Of course, this huge twist that they throw at us has everything to do with Jeremy Strong. And the acting that he showed in that episode, especially within that kind of sequence at the end, was amazing. It was amazing. And you really felt, you felt for him, even though after what he has done, right? In that scene. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm kind of dancing around the details here. But really great performance. I mean, the best performance for Jeremy Strong for sure in the season. And he just did an amazing job in this episode. So, anyways, I had to give the nod to him. We had a few. Bob Odenkirk in Better Call Saul was definitely up there in contention. Of course, Amy Adams for Sharp Objects. I think I mentioned this last episode, but she would have won this week too over Jeremy Strong, if I'm being honest. But I do like to switch it up every week, and I really don't want to have the same person every single week. And so that's why Amy Adams would not be my notable performance. But anyways, so Jeremy Strong, really great job with the whole season, but in particular this finale, really great job. So anyways, guys, that will just about do it for my weekly notables. Let me know what your favorite episode was in this week of television. Maybe, who your favorite performance was this week, who gave it, and what episode was it in, and stuff like that. And or just let me know, like, what TV shows are you watching now? What episodes did you really like in the past few weeks? And what do you think of Succession, too? I'd love to hear your guys' opinion of Succession if you're watching it. And of course, if you've seen the finale yet, really urge you to catch up if you haven't. It's really, really great. So, anyways, guys, that'll just about do it. I'm just going to check the live chat here and see if we have anything else to add. And all right. And okay, so it doesn't look like anything is on the live chat, but I do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the episode this week. Those of you who tune in live, do really, really appreciate it. So, anyways, guys, then I guess that'll just about do it for this episode of Let's Talk Television, episode 8. So we have 4 more episodes to go now in season 2, and then, like I said, we'll get into the fall season. We'll take a week off, and then the fall season. So, anyways, I'll talk more about that as the season kind of progresses here. But anyways, and I do have something new coming this week on the channel. I think it's going to be really awesome. I came up with the idea a couple weeks ago, and I've just been putting things together. So it doesn't have to do Let's Talk Television. It's kind of a whole new entity in itself. I think it's going to be really cool, and I think it's going to be entertaining. So, for me, and then also, you guys as viewers. So, anyways, I'm really looking forward to that one. So, stay tuned on the channel for that. It's coming this week. Should be Wednesday or Thursday. So keep tuned, to the channel for that if you are interested. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool. So, anyways, I don't want to give away any more details. So we'll just wrap it up here. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of Let's Talk Television. Thank you so much for your support on the channel. We're now at 154 subscribers, I think. 66,000 channel views. So we're really growing lately, and I just really like to thank you guys. Really, really do appreciate that. And the amount of growth on this Let's Talk Television series has been really great. The views, the likes, the comments. So I just really want to thank you guys. Really do appreciate it. And here's to the series, going forward. I'm really looking forward to what the future has in store for us, and the series. So, anyways, again, thank you so much for watching this episode of Let's Talk Television. That'll just about do it, and we'll see you next week for episode 9 of Let's Talk Television Season 2. Thanks, guys. See you next time.